No. Okay, now I'll make sure I got you on this time, Zoom. You on this time. Other than that, greetings, 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 or should I say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. How's everyone doing this beautiful evening of the 6th of September 2025? And this is Assembly of the Righteous. This is the Assembly of the Righteous. We're here every Sabbath at 12 noon or around that time or a little bit after. We're here at 12 noon, 8 Sabbath, Eastern time. All right. Okay. And today we're in 1 Samuel chapter 21 and 22. This is part 2. We're getting ready to start in Daniel chapter 22 at this moment in time. And what we just shared in chapter 21 is when David flees from Saul and he ended up going to Gath. Well, first, let me see. First, he went to the priest and got some showbread that average people wasn't supposed to get. He got some showbread, but the father had him had things happening where Edomite saw everything that was going on, which was a servant of Saul, and the Edomite seen what happened and what the priest did. So the priest was out of line and out of order by giving David showbread of the priest. The priest themselves supposed to have that. That wasn't supposed to be for David. David is the tribe of Judah, but he wasn't of Levi or he wasn't of the priest. And there's certain things that the priest is supposed to do that's not supposed to be out of pocket. Compared, and not only compared, but that's not supposed to happen. Whatever that can happen, we got repercussions come behind it. They haven't seen the repercussions yet. Excuse me. But all this is because Saul is trying to kill, or should I say, take David's life. Why? Because David killed Goliath, and everyone's seen, the women and people sung, David killed, Saul killed his 1,000, and David killed his 10,000. Saul got jealous from that point on, and he'd been seeking David's life since that point, right? So a reason behind that is because of 1 Samuel chapter 20, 20, matter of fact, First Samuel chapter 20, verse 31. And Saul said, this is the revealing, this is the reason why he wants to kill David. And it's going on today, the reason why he wanted to, but he couldn't. But 31 says, for as long as the son of Jesse, which is David, liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established. And he's talking to his son Jonathan. Jonathan is Saul's son that loved David, but yet and still, he's letting Jonathan know, you ain't gonna be established, son. But Jonathan's young, he ain't paying no attention. His love for David is his love for David, excuse me. Now, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. So this is Saul's reason for wanting to kill David. But it's really, he lost the kingdom on his own because he didn't listen. And he lied to the prophet. And by lying to the prophet, you lied to the creator, because the creator is within the prophet, because the prophet is the ambassador of the creator. So now we're in chapter 22. That was just a small synopsis of what's going on, what's happening at this present moment. You know, it's a lot more that's going on, but at this present moment, this is what's happening. So now we're in chapter 22, 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1. It says, David flees to Adullam. Verse 1. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. They went down there to him. I don't know what I want to use right there. He escaped. So that means he got away from him, went to the cave Adullam, whatever that is. Adullam. It was a cave. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. They went down to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt. Everyone that was in distress and everyone that was in debt. And everyone that was discontented gathered themselves to him unto him, and he became a captain over them. So all the people who need help, everyone that was in distress. So this is how he gained people on his side. And everyone that was in debt. Remember, David gained the momentum of the people. He was coming in and coming out. He had nothing to do with their business and stuff because he was more like a warrior for the king, right? And everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves together unto him, and he became a captain over them. So this is where his new legions came. This is where new people came. So his brethren and them, they came down to him. So they probably told people, David had a lot of people that he knew anyway. So now they seen that he was in favor of the king. Okay, David doing some big things now. Oh, he up there with the king. He killed Goliath. Yeah, he's great. He did a thing, a great victory for Israel. Now his name is ringing out. So now he's running. His brothers and them heard from him. And everyone that was in distress and everyone that was in debt and everyone that was discontented gathered themselves unto him. And he became a captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men. Now he grew 400 men. Why? Because he got a lot of people in debt. Remember, Saul is taking over now. His mindset is becoming like the Caucasian. I did a post. I said, the system is at Saul. The Saul is at the system or something like that. Because the way Saul was acting like the Edomites. Or the Romans. I'll put it like that. Verse 3. 400 men. Verse 3. And David went thence to Mizpeh, and of Moab. And he said unto the king of Moab, let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth and be with you. So now he's protecting his family. See that? And be with you till I know what Yah would do for me. Okay, now he's asking. He done heard about what they said. He kept in his heart. Now, Saul killed his 1,000. David killed his 10,000. Now he listened. Okay, all right. They said that. So I don't know if that was his enemy he went to go see in Gath. Verse 4. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while David was in the land. In the landhold, shall I say. All the while David was in the landhold. So Moab, remember this. The Moabites, you got to remember this. It's a prime. It's that the children of Moab should not be. This is the king. Let me give you that props, not props. Let me give you that law that the Creator said in Deuteronomy 23. Real quick. This doesn't mean we don't have to be friends, but he said in the congregation. Deuteronomy 23, starting at verse what? Verse 3. You read verse 3 down to 6. It's verse 3 to 6. It says, an Ammonite or a Moabite, this is 23 verse 3. Deuteronomy 23 verse 3. An Amorite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yah, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yah, forever until their 10th generation. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when ye came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Bepeor, Beer of Pethor, Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, Yah thy father would not hearken unto Balaam, but Yah thy father turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because Yah thy father loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever. And the Moabs then, or shall I say the Moabites, was the Moab then, but is the Moors today. So everybody's not a Moor, but that's who the Moors are, the Moabites. And verse 4 again says, and he brought them, 1 Samuel 22 and 4 says, and he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while David was in the hold. Verse 5. And the prophet Gad said unto David, abide not in the hold. The prophet Gad, you see that? That was a prophet. The prophet Gad. And the prophet Gad said unto David, abide not in the hold. Depart and get thee into the land of Judah. See there? Go to Judah. Then David departed and came into the forest Hareth, Hareth, Hareth. Saul kills the priest of Nob. See, this is what I was saying. This is what I was talking about what them Edomites did. And I didn't say it because I remember the story, but I didn't want to give it away. Okay, now verse 6. Verse 6. When Saul heard that David was discovered and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibbeth, under a tree in Ramah. Now Saul abode in Gibbeth under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Okay. Verse 7. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? You see that? Now you see he's boasting about his position. And he's scared because he knows that that's the position that's happening. That's why he's saying it. Verse 8, that all of you have conspired against me, to make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, that all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that showeth me that my son has made a league with the son of Jesse, and there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son have stirred up my servants against me to lie in wait as at this day. He said his son has did that against him. He ain't do that. But see, Saul's mind is getting corrupted. Saul is the one who's going mad. Y'all can't tell? He's so disturbed by David, he's going mad. Then answered Doeg. See, here go that Edomite. Then answered Doeg. Might as well say dog. Then answered Doeg, the Edomite. Oh, let me get this. The Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Noab to Ahimelech. Go ahead and get this all down. The servant of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Noab to Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub. I guess that's what it said. Verse 10. And he inquired of Yah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him swords, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, Ahitub, and all his father's house, the priests that were in Nob, and they came all of them to the king. All right. Well, this is the Caucasian talking right here. And then the king called to Ahimelech, priest, son of Ahitub, father's house, and priest with Noah, and they came all of them to the king. And Saul said, Hear now, thou son of Ahitub, and answer, Here I am, my Lord. All right. And Saul said, Hear now. Answer, Here am I, my Lord. And Saul said unto him, Why have ye conspired against me, thou and the son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and has inquired of Yah for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait as at this day? Man, you see how you see his mind is gone. He didn't. You notice he do like a lot of people I know. I'm gonna say one particular Caucasian I know didn't ask anything. They didn't ask. They just told him come, and then he said, Here am I, and then he just told him what he did. Why have you conspired against me? He is asking, Thou and thy son Jesse, son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword that and has acquired of Yah for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait as at this day. Yeah. See, he's gone mad. His mind is corrupt. Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among all his servants as David? See, he's saying that David, he don't know what's going on. And Ahimelech answered the king and said, And who is so faithful among all thy servants as David, which is the king's son-in-law? See, he don't know what's going on. Son-in-law, and goeth at thy bidding, and is honorable in thine house. And all he doing just telling him what David is, no different than Jonathan and everybody else. Then I began to inquire of Yah for him. See, did I then begin to inquire for Yah of him? Be it far from me. Let not the king impute anything into his servants, nor to all the house of my father. For thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. So he just let them know. I didn't know nothing about what was going on. Unto the servant, nor all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. I didn't know nothing about what you're talking about. And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. You see that? You see that? He gone mad. And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footman, and stood by, and check this out, y'all. Now, this is the difference in Yah's people, and they listening to it. You want me to kill an innocent man? He said he didn't know nothing. But check this out. Now let me read. I'm going ahead of the story. And he said, and the king said unto the footman that stood about him, Turn and slay the priest of Yah. See that? Turn and slay. He had nerve to say, Turn and slay the priest of Yah. The priest of Yah. And the king said unto the footman that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of Yah, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. You see that? He lying to tell them. and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yah. You see that? Now is what I'm going to show y'all. See, these people don't have no fear, but they did what the king said do. So they were like, okay, this is our excuse. We can do this. I'm about to tell you, now the story is coming out what I was about to say earlier. And the king said unto the footman, turn and slay the priests of Yah. He had nerve to say, turn and slay the priests of Yah, because their hand is with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. Yeah, he lost his mind. He gone. Then it says, but the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yah. And check this out. Verse 18. And the king said to Doeg, or Doge, or whatever y'all want to call it. D-O-E-G, dog. And the king said to the dog, turn thou and fall upon the priest. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priest and slew on that day 75 persons that did wear the linen ephod. You see that? You see that? Saul turned evil. He had an evil spirit on him. But the whole thing is, remember, if you notice, there's a certain point in here when it said, and Yah had him to listen. Now the certain man of the servant of Saul was there that day, detained before Yah. So he was detained. And his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chief of the herdmen, that he was detained anyway. He was detained for a purpose that I believe when it says detained, he was detained to hear that, to hear the conversation. That's when you got to start looking at the clues in here, y'all. When y'all see clues in here, you got to understand the Father's word is going to stand. No matter what, if it's for you, even with Jonathan. Remember Jonathan ate the honey? And the lot fell upon Jonathan? Because the Father's word, listen, I don't care what y'all think y'all do. The Father's word is the Father's word. He don't go against his word. So the showbread was for the priest and the priest only. He gave, even though David talked him out of and said it ain't nothing but common, David was trying to live. But he put the priest in trouble. The priest did not do, but then the priest was scared. Was it? No, it was the other people from Gath. They were scared when David came, or it was it was the priest. Verse 21, chapter 21, verse 1. Then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone and no man with thee? He was already afraid because they know that when David come, he come to kill. But he was the priest. So he still wondered. He was afraid. Now back over here, verse 18. But 17. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, turn and slay the priests of Yah, because their hand is with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Yah. And the king said to Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priests and slew on that day 80 is 85 persons. 85 is 85 persons that did wear the linen ephod. And Nob, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword. You see that? the city of the priests. Smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and sucklings, and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. He killed all those people. Whoo, boy. Saul is going mad, y'all. He's searching for David. He killing all these people to get to him. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahub, named Abathar, I think that's what it is, Abathar, escaped and fled after David. He escaped and went after David. So that's one of his sons. And one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahithub, named Abathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abathar showed David that Saul had slain Yah's priest. And David said unto Abathar, I knew it that day when Joash the Edomite was there. He said, look, he already picked it up. I knew it that day when the Edomite was there. Let me see what I'm going to look this look like. And David said, Abathar, I knew it that day when Joash the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul. I knew it. I knew he was going to tell Saul. I have occasioned to death of a person of thy father's house. I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. That means he said he took it upon himself. I'm the one who did this. I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life. Now, let me finish up on that. That's it. I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Let me do this. I'll put you. Abide thou with me, verse 23. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life, but with me thou shalt be in safeguard. But with me thou shalt be in safeguard. You say, man, I got you. You ain't got to worry about it. All right, we're gonna go ahead with we're gonna end it right here for today. I could, no. 28 minutes in. Well, let me go ahead with 23. We go with 23. We'll hit 23. We're going to 23. David defeats. This is 1 Samuel chapter 23. David defeats the Philistines. Then they told David, saying, behold, the Philistines fight against Keilah, and they rob the threshing floors. All right. Therefore, David inquired of verse 2, chapter 23, 1 Samuel 23 and verse 2. Therefore, David inquired of Yah, saying, shall I go and smite these Philistines? And Yah said unto David, through a prophet, and Yah said unto David, go and smite the Philistines and save Keilah. David inquired of Yah, saying, verse 2, shall I go and smite the Philistines, these Philistines? And Yah said unto David, and smite the Philistines and save Keilah. Verse 3. And David's men said unto him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more then if we come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? Then David inquired of Yah yet again. You got to understand, he asking each time. Yet again. And Yah answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah. He told him, go again. For I will deliver the Philistines into thy hand. Now you see that? This is how you know the Creator is working with you. See, first, therefore David inquired of Yah, saying, Shall I go? First he said, Shall I go and smite these Philistines? And Yah said unto David, listen at the answer. Go and smite the Philistines. Then he said, and save Keilah. And David's men, and this is the men asking now unto him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more than if we come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? Then David inquired of Yah yet again. And Yah answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah. Again, for I will deliver the Philistines into thy hand. Y'all got to understand how the Father be talking. See that? The first time he said, go and smite the Philistines and say Keilah. He said, just go smite them. But now he said, I will deliver the Philistines into thine hand. You got to understand. That's how you study. That's how you come to learn the Creator's word. When you study and you ask, you see how he's speaking, you see how things are being said, but he's telling them he's going to win. So David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines and brought away their cattle and smote them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. You see that? Smote them with a great slaughter. See, this is how you understand, and you have to trust the Creator. And fought with the Philistines and brought away their cattle and smote them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. Saul pursues David. Now this is Saul pursuing David. Saul pursues David. And it came to pass when Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with the ephod in his hand. He came down with the ephod in his hand, and it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. They know who he was by the ephod, which is what? The priest's robe, I believe. By a priest's robe. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah, and Saul said, Yah have delivered him into mine hand. Everybody think that Yah is working for them. Everybody do. And truthfully, the Creator does work for everybody for whatever reason the Father is using you for. Not you using the Creator for, but the Father is using you for a certain purpose. You can't use the Father, but the Father will use you. You may think something is going on in your favor, but it may be going on against you. It's just where your mindset is. That's why you got to be in the Word and study the Word to understand the Word, to know what you need to know, to understand. He thinks the Creator putting David in his hand. Again, verse 6. Saul pursues David. And it came to pass when Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. And it was, verse 7, and it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah. And Saul said, Yah has delivered him into mine hand. Let me go ahead and underline that. And Saul said, God has delivered him into mine hand. For he is shut in by entering into a town that has gates and bars. That means, no, he can't go nowhere. He's stuck. And that was his reason for saying it. For he's shut in by entering into the gate of a town that has gates and bars. He can't go nowhere. He's stuck. He trapped. Verse 8, and Saul called all the people together to war, to go down to Keilah, to besiege David and his men. To besiege David and his men. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him. I don't know what I mean mischief. What type of mischief? And David knew Saul secretly practiced mischief against him. And he said to Abiathar, the priest, bring hither the ephod. Bring hither the ephod. Then said David, O Yah, Father of Israel, thy servant has certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah to destroy the city for my sake. Will the men of Keilah deliver me up into his hand? Will Saul come down as thy servant has heard? Or Yah, Father of Israel, I beseech thee, tell thy servant. And Yah said, he will come down. He will come down. See that? But see what the Creator said to him? He asked a question. And David said, he asked a question. And Yah said, he will come down. Verse 12. Then said David, will the men of Keilah deliver me and my men into his hand, into the hand of Saul? And Yah said, they will deliver thee up. They're going to deliver you up. That's what they will do. Now you see how this conversation is going? Hold on. Let's the ephod. The ephod was the key. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him. And he said to Abiathar, the priest, bring hither the ephod. And that's a key right there too. He said, bring the ephod. So by him doing that, either he asked the priest to speak or he did it himself. All this right here is him asking, and the Father answering. See, and this is how you know. See, remember, Father said that he's going to do all his pleasure. Now, this is David asking questions to find out. Now, David did what he's supposed to do. He went down there to save the king or whoever this person was, Keilah. He did what the Creator told him to do. But then now he knew that witchcraft practice mischief means that he think he's slick. Mischief, okay, he mischievous. If he know that I'm down here, is he gonna come? So David asked the Creator, which is he said, bring the ephod. So bring the ephod. They must mean the priest the priest or a prophet gave him his answer from the Creator. David escapes to the wilderness. Okay. Then David and his men, which were about 600, now he went from 400 to 600 men, rose and departed out of Keilah and went whithersoever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbear to go forth. So he didn't go. And he preferred to go forth, so he didn't go. And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph, Z-I-P-H. In the wilderness of Ziph. In a mountain in the wilderness. He had 600 men this time. All right. And Saul saw him every day. Look at verse 14 again. And David abode in the wilderness, in strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph, Z-I-P-H. And Saul sought him every day, but Yah delivered him. But Yah delivered him not into his hand. He didn't deliver David into his hand. Verse 15. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life. And David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. In a wood, meaning in the woods. It said in a wood, but was in the woods. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David into the wood and strengthened his hand in Yah. See that? And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David in the wood and strengthened his hand in Yah. Verse 17. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king. You see that? Over Israel. Jonathan didn't want that. He said, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee. And the key is, and thou shalt be king over Israel. And thou shalt be king over Israel. And I shall be next to thee. See that? He said, I don't want to be king. I want to be next to you. And that also Saul my father knoweth. And also that my father... and also that Saul my father knoweth. He know that. 18. And they two made a covenant. They made another covenant before Yah, and David abode in the wood, and Jonathan went to his house. They made another covenant. Jonathan even told him. And you know what just hit my mind? Remember when Jonathan ate the honey, and then the lots fell on Jonathan? You got to look at things. Everything is the cause and effect behind everything that's going on. When Jonathan ate the honey, even though he didn't hear his father say anybody eating honey should surely die that day, Jonathan wasn't nowhere around him, but he ate it not knowing what was going on. But they still was going to kill him not knowing what happened. And he even said, well, my eyes come wide open now, and y'all could have had strength to fight if y'all would have ate the honey. But they didn't eat the honey, but his eyes did. And then when they threw the lots on, it was the people, his men, I think it was the people, Jonathan and Saul, I think it was. The people, Jonathan and Saul. The lots rolled and ended up it being Jonathan was the one looked at. Jonathan would have been, should we say, dead anyway. He would have been dead if he'd got killed that day. But the people saved Jonathan's life because he helped beat, I don't know, the Philistines then. I forgot what company he was fighting. But he beat them. And Jonathan went down, I think it was 1,000 men. That's when he went down, and that's when that happened. Even though they spoke of it earlier, I think in chapter 13. But in 14 is how they brought it out and showed you the synopsis of what they did in 13. Excuse me. If you don't study, you won't see it like that. You'll be looking at, okay, you did it here, and they did it here. Y'all don't put the stories together and find out before like they do on TV. They can show you something beforehand, and then they can show you leading up to what they already showed you. No different than in the book. The book do the same thing. Just have to have common understanding and sense to read, to understand, to know. So then, verse 19, 1 Samuel 23 and 19 states, then came up Ziphites to Saul to Gibeah, saying, do not David hide himself with us in strongholds in the wood? Doeth not David hide himself with us in strongholds in the wood, in the hill of Hachila, which is on the south of Yeshimon. It say Jeshimon, but J is really Y. South of Yeshimon, 20. Now, therefore, O king, come down according to all the desire of thy soul, to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. And Saul said, blessed be ye of Yah, for ye, now he's talking about blessed be Yah, a certain situation. So I said, blessed be ye of Yah, for ye have compassion on me. For ye have compassion on me. David is building, he see that. You see that people are joining themselves with David. Let's do Saul. Sabbath, y'all. I'm just looking back on some stuff. Where we at? 21 again. And Saul said, blessed be ye of Yah, for ye have compassion on me. That's what he said. Well, ye have compassion on me. Compassion. Yeah, I just got to realize what the Father said. It's going to happen anyway, no matter what you think. Verse 22. Go, I pray you, prepare yet and know and see his place where his haunt is. Where his haunt is. And who have seen him there. For it is told me that he dealeth very subtilly. Go, I pray you, prepare yet and know and see his place where his haunt is, and who have sent him there. For it is told me that he dealt very subtly. Subtly. Subtlely. Subtly. 23. See, therefore, and take knowledge of all the lurking places where he hideth, hideth himself, and come ye again to me with the certainty, and I will go with you. Now you gonna come in certainly with what you know. Then I'm gonna go with you. We're gonna go get him. Y'all go spy him out, and we're gonna get him. When you come and tell me, I'm gonna go with you to get him. But right now, no, he's hiding himself. He hid himself. Say, see therefore and take knowledge of all the lurking places. I mean, he can be anywhere. And I will go with you, and it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all the thousands of Judah. If he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all the thousands of Judah. 24. And they arose and went to Ziph before Saul. But David and his men were in the wilderness of Mon. Now it's another one. Wilderness of Mon. In the plain on the south of Yeshimon. Wilderness of Mon. Maon. Maon. Verse 25. And Saul also and his men went to seek him. And they told David, wherefore he came down into a rock and abode in the wilderness of Mon. And when Saul heard that he pursued after David in the wilderness of Mon, and when Saul heard that he pursued after David in the wilderness of Mon, and Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men let me go 26 again. And Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men on that side of the mountain. And David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. So they was on the east side of the mountain at this point. So okay, they're over there on the other side. They're getting close. Saul didn't know how close he was. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men round about to take them. So, okay. He compassed them, but he probably didn't even know he had them. Compassed David and his men round about to take them. But there came a messenger unto Saul, saying, haste thee and come, for the Philistines have invaded the land. So he would have got David, but now the Philistine. Wherefore Saul returned from pursuing after David and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called that place Selah Hamalikoth. Selah Hamalikoth. That way, well, it's SELA-HAMMAHLEKOTH. I don't know why they call it that, but that's when he left David and went. He didn't know how close he was, and David went up from this and dwelt in strongholds in Engedi, Engedi, Engedi. I guess that's what it is. So, as we can see, David escaped to the wilderness. He went to different places. Saul chasing him. But if it wasn't for that messenger coming and telling Saul, come, the Philistines is here. We need you at home. They come to take over the land. So they probably heard that Saul is in the wilderness. They probably don't know what was going on. Then again, they may do. Saul chasing after David. Saul trying to get David. And then the Philistines say, okay, this is our chance to go get the land. Saul ain't there. Let's go get the land. Now he had to go back and protect the land. And there you go. And David went up from thence and dwelt in strongholds in England. Well, he almost had David. He was close. He was all around David. Verse 26, and Saul went on this side of the mountain. And David on that side of the mountain. And David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men round about to take him. He didn't know he was that close, though. Well, y'all know why David was afraid of Saul, don't you? David was afraid of Saul because he was the anointed of the Creator. He was the king. And you don't mess around. I don't care what you think, what's going on. I don't care if the Father set you up. You still don't mess with that. Even if the person is old or gone or washed up, you think he washed up. He's still the Creator's anointed. David, then 27, but there came a messenger unto Saul saying, haste thee and come, for the Philistines have invaded the land. And there we go. We'll start at chapter 24 next week. We're going to end it today with the end of 23. We're going to start at 24 next week as we go through the story. But didn't I tell you about them? That's what I was going to say. The Edomites. That dude, he said, I knew he was going to go and tell Saul. But he didn't care. He didn't scare. He wasn't scared. Just like they ain't scared today. They know who we are. But they ain't scared to put their hand. But I tell you what, they is scared to go against the law. See, look at what happened. Let me give y'all understanding what happened. See, he was the head of the herdsmen for Saul. And even though these was priests of the Creator, Saul told him authority. Saul told him, lay your hands on all him and his whole family. And he went out and slaughtered 85 people of the priesthood. 85 people of the priesthood Saul had the Edomite killed. That right there showed you he had no fear of the Father. But Saul told his own servant to do it. They didn't do it. You know, ain't doing that. That's the Father. See, they respect the Father. Saul didn't. That's the whole thing I've been sharing. The whole thing. Saul didn't respect the Father because if he did, he would have put it. That man said he didn't have nothing to do with that. And he murdered him anyway. You gonna side with my enemy. And this and that. He said, well, I didn't know nothing. I just knew this. All I know is that David did everything for you. You wanted him to go. He went out and fought for you. And all. That's all we know. You and your family going to die today because, see, and that goes to show these people who don't listen. They have closed ears. A lot of people like that today. Me and my wife have experienced that through certain people. They will blame you for something and will not ask you and just tell you, you did this. Yeah, you did this, and that, whatever. I'm like, they crazy. Something wrong with them. I leave them alone. I do this. I wash my hands with them, and bye. I don't have nothing to do with you. I'm done. That goes to show me you don't have no integrity. You have no thoughts. You have no soul, as far as I'm concerned. You gonna blame something on somebody without even checking or inquiring. You just going to say, okay, what date this happened? And if I'm telling you I don't know, I don't know. You can think I'm lying, but until you have proof I'm lying, that's a different story. But you can think I'm lying all day long. But that Edomite didn't care. That Edomite didn't care. He did what he wanted. He did what the king. King told me to do this. I'm going to do it. Right or wrong, I'm going to do it. Why? Because the king told me to do it. That reminds me of martial law. Not martial law, but the marshal, what Lee, what's his name? Lee, I forgot his name. His name is Lee, played on Men in Black, the older guy, right? But he played good marshal. He played good authoritative movies. And I remember when someone said, well, I don't care, I just got to bring you in. See, he just doing his job. No, they're like robots. No compassion, no thoughts. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I see. And this and that. I got to bring you in. Robot. Nothing computes, but I got to do this job. See what I'm saying? You got to recognize where you at, and you got to see yourself through the scriptures. You got to see the world through the scriptures. You got to see where you at through the scriptures. Other than that, I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12. Verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who live in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see, that Mikael is really me. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening there, your seeing now. We're going to small way out, and hopefully y'all understand. And next week we'll be in 30, I think was it 24 next week. Yep, I believe it'll be 1 Samuel chapter 24 next Sabbath. Other than that, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shegevon Bakuto Yolam Vaed Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. Bless you, praise you, and bless you, and thank you for another beautiful Sabbath day. Thank you for another beautiful day and helping us in every way. Let us retain your word, your knowledge, and your information. We love you, we praise you, and promote you. In your holy word we pray. Hallelujah. 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 There we go. Love everyone, and just want to let everyone know, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you always can call or text me at 770-572-5315. 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at LKHYYM. That's LKH. Excuse me. YYM at gmail.com. LKHYYM at gmail.com. Now, if you'd like to catch me on YouTube, my YouTube and my X Twitter, or X formerly known as Twitter, which I like to say X Twitter, which is and also my YouTube page is Juice Pro 33. That's JUICEPRO 33. All right. Now my just hear me. So now the Sabbath. Time to go back and lay down. My X Twitter and my YouTube is Juice Pro 33. That's my X which is formerly known as Twitter, and my YouTube is JuicePro33. Like, subscribe, and share if you don't mind. Also, my Instagram and my TikTok is Lakaim underscore the juice, which is LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. That's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. That's my Instagram and one of my TikToks. My other TikTok is Michael the Juice Harris, which is MichaelTheJuiceHarris. Michael the Juice Harris, all together on my other TikTok. Also, my Facebook. My Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. That's MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. Now, for the full version, you can find me on YouTube, JuicePro33, under video for the full version from Zoom, and the short versions will be on the video, under videos on YouTube. Also on patreon.com/LKHYYM and rumble.com/LKHYYM. Other than that, you can always catch me on Sundays right here on Fight Fire with Truth on Sundays at 9 p.m., which is the night after Sunday, between Sunday and Monday. That's at 9 p.m. And that'll be on my Zoom. You can check that out. And that's called Fight Fire with Truth. Mondays is Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mondays, Mikael's Knowledge of Truth at 6 p.m. as well. And on the Sabbath, with all of my Eastern time. And on the Sabbath day, we're here at 12 p.m. noon. 12 p.m. noon. Not right now. 12 p.m. noon. Like someone just called. 12 p.m. noon on the Sabbath day, with like today, which is Assembly of the Righteous. When the righteous come together, we go through the scriptures and the word, and we break the word down as we go. So we're here at these times, but this is at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time as well. Now, if you'd like to get on my Zoom or about the platforms, which is, as I just shared with you a few moments ago, that was Assembly of the Righteous. Now, on Tuesdays at 6 p.m., we have Introductory to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. Now, if you have text me your information, I can text you back the information. You just sign it out and send it back. Fill it out and send it back, which is the NDA for the Sovereign Class of Introductory to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. Other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. I love you, I appreciate love you, and also we get ready to say bye to everybody. And since Zoom is actually might be the shortest, appreciate love you. I'll see you soon and always. Peace.
Recording stopped.
All right. That's done. All right. Now, over here on Facebook, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you. See you soon and always. Peace. Got you. Instagram, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you and always. Peace. And over here on Facebook Live, or shall I say YouTube Live, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you, and always. Peace. Shabbat shalom.